You see how I put that money in there? Yeah. It intrigues me how people will cancel out their blessing because they don't know the word of God. Oh boy. It just so happened that at an appointed time, I need you to put this phrase, appointed time, on the sticky side of your mind. At an appointed time, the men of God, Peter and John, were coming into the temple, and they ran into this beggar. Now, the beggar probably came there every day because he made his living by begging. And you make your living by fixing cars. Some of you make your living by taking care of children. Some of you make your living by teaching. Some of you make your living by preaching. Some of you make your living, and really we make our living by the word of God. We make our living, actually we give by, we make our living by giving, but that's another sermon for another day. But in a secular sense, we make our living by what we do. Okay, in a secular sense, but we can be enlightened to the spiritual understanding another day. But in the secular sense, you make your living by what you do. And so this man begged, and he was strategic in his begging. Did he go down to the lepers camp to beg? No, because the lepers camp don't have no money. And so therefore, why would you go and ask somebody for something that you knew didn't have? That don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. And there's an illustration there about prayer. The very fact that we turn to God is an act of faith. Because by virtue of turning to God in prayer is an act of faith because of the fact that you turn to Him, because it's something within you that responds to the fact that He is God. And something within you understands that if I turn to the Lord in prayer, He has the ability to meet my needs. All right. Oh my God. Okay. So he went where it was strategic for him to go. He went to the place where the folk he knew was going to have money. And he didn't wait till after the service to ask them for some money. He was asking them as they were coming by. Yeah, sir, can you get some change? Amen. Sir, we got to alms for the poor, as he was coming in. Sir, alms for the poor, He said he wouldn't wait until they left because they had already gave what they was going to give and they didn't have any more. So he was trying to stop them before they went in to ask for alms for the poor. So at this moment and appointed time, he met Peter and John.
All right.
According to the story, he asked them for money and they looked. He had Peter and John had the beggar look at them. Okay, there was something in them having him look at them. Okay, let me read the verse. He says, who seeing Peter, verse 3, who seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple, asked for alms for the poor. Peter and John stopped. And they said, look on us. And he listened to them. Something about them said, okay. There was an anticipation. There was an expectation that was stirred at that moment. I just wish the people of God would develop an expectation for God to do what He says that He was going to do. I told you last week, you look like God promised you something. So therefore, we need to develop an expectation. We need to develop an expectation. So this beggar, he didn't tell him they was going to give him anything, but just by virtue of the fact that they told him to look at them, his expectation was stirred. And so he looked intently at them. So because he expected to receive something. Oh, if the church would come to church expecting to receive. Lives will be changed as much praise and worship and flipping and flopping that goes on in the church. As much word that goes forth. We're not suffering from lack of preaching. preaching. We're not suffering for a lack of teaching. We might be suffering for a lack of biblical teaching and biblical preaching, but all this worship and praise and worship this and praise and worship that. But the thing is that the people don't come with an expectation.
That's good.